as a watchman, and I have been appointed by the Lord as a watchman to warn this nation of what's coming upon us. And that was solidified to me one day at a Promise Keepers meeting in Stockton, California, where at the end of that meeting, I still had a broken left arm and a broken left leg, which hadn't healed, and I was, the meeting had been discharged, and these people were, two ladies walked up to me with their names on their lapels, and had been assigned to pray for people at the end of the meeting. They approached me and asked me, "Are you waiting to be prayed for?" I responded, "No, I'm just standing here. My leg's still broke, and it's very sore and swollen. And I don't know how I'm going to get to my truck, which was parked like 10 blocks away." And they volunteered to pray for my leg. And as they were praying for my leg, the one lady's asking the Lord to touch me and to heal these bones, knit them together. The other lady began to pray in a prayer language over me. And when the one lady finished her prayer, the other lady spoke these words to me. In a prophetic manner, she said, and how would she know to say this? I'm a total stranger to her. She said, "The Lord has told me that you have been appointed as a watchman. He's given you an important job to do. You're not to defer this job or to neglect it or put it aside. You're to be faithful. You're to carry on delivering this message of warning, whether it's convenient for you or not. You're to be faithful and do it." I began to cry and then I began to explain to them that I see this beloved America, the beautiful that we all love, and I'm a very patriotic man. I began to explain to them how our cities are going to be bombed. The cities are going to burn. A military attack is coming. It's called the Day of the Lord. It's mentioned in the book of Joel as a large and mighty army comes. It's also described right here in Isaiah 1. It says, men will flee to the caves in the rocks. Why are they going to the rocks? To hide in the holes in the ground? It's a radiation shelter. It says food and water is going to be scarce. I know it's talking about America, and in Isaiah 1 it says it's a sinful nation, a brood of evildoers, children given to corruption. They've forsaken the Lord, they spurned the Holy One, they've turned their backs on Him. It says, why should you be beaten anymore? Why do you persist in your rebellion? Do you realize this country has suffered what the insurance companies call acts of God, from fires and tornadoes and floods? We're being beaten. God is upset with this country. He's punishing us. But it says your whole head is injured. The head of this country was New York, 9/11. The Twin Towers came down. It says your whole heart is afflicted. The heart of the country was the Mississippi River that originates with New Orleans. Rita Katrina tore the whole place up. Only a third of its population is there today that existed before those hurricanes. It says there's no soundness, only wounds and welts and open sores. There's still a crater in New York City where the Twin Towers were. It's still open sores. New Orleans is still suffering wounds and welts and desolated sections of the city that have never been rebuilt. It says your country's going to be desolate. Your cities will be burned with fire. Your fields are being stripped by foreigners. It says unless the Lord leaves us some survivors, we'll be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is often referred to when the scriptures talk about the coming destruction called the Day of the Lord. It says what's going to happen in 2 Peter 2. 2 Peter 2 says the Lord condemned Sodom and Gomorrah by burning them to ashes. And it says, verse 6, He condemned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah by burning them to ashes. He made them an example of what's going to happen. What's going to happen is cities are going to burn. That's why the day of the Lord is a day of darkness and gloom. The sun is darkened. The skies are full of smoke. The smoke in the skies is what Deuteronomy 28's curses say. The Lord will turn the rain of the land into dust and powder. The dust and powder coming down is fallout. It's radiation sickness. It's going to cause what it says in the book of Joel. I'll take you right to the book of Joel and read it to you word for word. It says in verse 18 of chapter 1, how the cattle moan, the herds mill about, they have no pasture, even flocks of sheep are suffering. It says it's the day of the Lord coming, a day of darkness and gloom, a large and mighty army comes in chapter 2. The earth shakes, sun and moon are darkened. Back chapter 1, it says, despair you farmers. Grieve, you vine growers, because the barley, the wheat and the barley, the harvest of the field is destroyed. It's a crop contamination. We're the breadbasket of the world. We have a huge supply of food, but right when it's harvest time, before the harvest, the fallout dust is going to come down and the crops are going to be contaminated. You'll have nothing to eat if you don't stock up. I'm going to tell you when this is going to happen. Tune in again.